A somber milestone as today marks the 75th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. More than 2,400 servicemen were killed in the surprise Japanese attack, thrusting America into World War II. And 60 years later, America suffered a second day of infamy on September 11th, 2001, reminding us all of the fresh dangers that we face. And here to discuss the parallels between these two tragedies is Andrew Peek. He's a former Army advisor to U.S. and NATO commanders in Afghanistan. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Great to be here.
And let's begin by thanking all of our service people on this day. So discuss with us a little bit about some of the parallels that you see between these two just horrific events.
Gosh, well, you know, the biggest takeaway from Pearl Harbor was the utter failure of intelligence at every level. You know, from the very bottom level, where Army radar operators didn't share the fact that they saw Japanese planes incoming to Pearl Harbor with the commanders there, up to the operational level, where the intelligence section of Admiral Kincaid, who was in charge at Pearl Harbor, lost track of the Japanese aircraft carriers about a week earlier and then took no actions to pick them up again. And then at the political level, where we underestimated our opponents and thought the Japanese weren't capable of this attack.
And similarly for 9/11, not prepared.
Exactly. And not only were we not prepared, we couldn't even conceive of our foes being ruthless and determined enough to carry this attack out, even though bin Laden himself had told us in '96 and '98 that he was determined to attack the United States. So there's a lot of parallels I think you can take out of it, and I think the 9/11 Commission report gets to the heart of some of this.
But those parallels do end when you talk about the end of World War II. That ended, and in our fight against ISIS still has not, and terrorists.
No, absolutely. And you know, it's not just 9/11. That's exactly right. You see the exact same mistakes made with ISIS. The failure to appreciate them as a potent force until after the Paris massacres, when President Obama had to finally stand on stage in Turkey and give his press conference where he essentially admitted that he'd been belittling the threat too much. The fact that our military commanders were so in hoc to the prevailing political wisdom that they were altering their intelligence adjustments at CENTCOM. You see this playing out over and over again. It's kind of an American pattern. And on the one hand, it speaks well to us. We're a democracy. We don't want to fight wars. We have no desire to invade other countries. But on the other hand, it's pretty depressing to think that we can only defend ourselves after getting a pretty bad bloody nose.
So what are the lessons that we can learn, if any?
Oh gosh, the top thing is better intelligence sharing between the local and the federal level. You know, our police departments all around the country are picking up intelligence on their communities and potential radicals every single day, and they have a real trouble finding channels to get that to the right place, whether it's the FBI or the military or somewhere else. You know, I think instituting a regular channel for that intelligence to be compiled and then acted upon is the most pressing national security challenge the United States has in facing Islamic terrorism.
A hard lesson to learn. Andrew Peek joining us this morning. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks so much.